Hey there, everybody. It is John Cross from the PM Entertainment Podcast. And as promised, I'm going to review some early Joseph Merhi and Rick Pepin productions for City Lights Entertainment on Blu-ray that are now out from terror-vision.com because it's spooky season and it's the most PM-related thing that I could find for spooky season. And so the first one out the gate was Hollowgate. That doesn't really work, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, first one out the gate was Hollowgate, which I have on this beautiful Blu-ray from terror-vision.com. They have all the City Lights Entertainment films, which was the company that Joe and Rick released this under before they became PM Entertainment. So there are 3 out already, which I have the Blu-ray of, and a 4th one coming out very soon. So go onto their website, buy them. I believe they're on Tubi as well, or Tubi, but don't watch them on Tubi. Buy the Blu-rays. Listen, I tell you what it is. If you came to me and went, I'll never buy the Blu-ray if I never watch the film, but if I watch the film, I might buy the Blu-ray, then obviously go watch the film on Tubi, right? But if that's not the case, if the case is you're like, well, I could buy the Blu-ray, or I could go over to Tubi, buy the Blu-ray. Buy the Blu-ray. Only watch the film on Tubi if it's the only way we can get you to get the Blu-ray. Because I want all the City Lights Entertainment Blu-rays out, and then I want all the PM Entertainment Blu-rays out here in the States. So come on, guys, make that happen by buying the Blu-rays. Anyway, I watched this last night. It's not the first City Lights film that I've seen. I've seen Mayhem and Epitaph, but this one, I mean, my goodness. What an absolutely fantastic, mad, all over the place, but brilliant indie 16mm late 80s slasher action thing. It's absolutely fantastic. So it is directed by Ray Di Zazzo and stars Addison Randall. And Addison Randall worked for and with Joseph and Rick for quite a few of the City Lights Entertainment movies and then early PM Entertainment movies as an actor, as a writer, as a director, as a second unit director, all sorts of jobs Addison Randall had for both City Lights and PM Entertainment. And having seen his performance in Hollowgate, I mean, bravo. Also, he wrote and directed my favorite of the early PM films, Shotgun. So Addison Randall, absolutely fantastic, man. You need to come on the podcast. We need to get inside Addison Randall's head because he was there at the beginning, man. He was there when it was City Lights, before it was PM, and he did a bunch of great, groovy, genre, grindhouse stuff with them, and it's absolutely fantastic. Hollowgate is basically sort of a Michael Myers-y kind of character who has a lot of kinder trauma because his father almost drowned him in an apple bobbing bin. Don't ask, it's a whole sequence that we get at the beginning of the film. And then he basically grows up to get repeatedly bullied and then becomes a killer, basically. So, but instead of Michael Myers with the mask and the not talking and the whatever, this guy very much talks. He lives with his grandmother, I think it is, in a big mansion with sort of overtones of sort of Psycho and stuff. And then he kills a few people. He blows up a couple in a car in great PM fashion. And on the Blu-ray extras, you find out that when Joseph saw the final film that Ray Di Zazzo wanted to put out, he was like, well, we need to we need to have an explosion. We need to have some TNA, and we need to have sort of a weird opening sequence. So we have Joseph Merhi to thank for the opening act of this movie, basically. What a fantastic opening act it is. This has all of the things that I love about indie movies. This has every single thing. But the main thing it has, the willingness, the ambition, the gusto, and the testicular fortitude to swing for the fences. It just tries everything, and it tries everything with like heart and guts, and you know that it's not there yet, right? It's like watching a child take its first steps, or watching a slightly older child hit a home run at Little League or whatever it is. It's like seeing that thing where you're like, oh, this is the burgeoning filmmakers that they are right now, and they are going to become the PM entertainment that we all know and love. But right now, look at what they're doing. Look at what they're trying. Look at what they're attempting. Look at the kind of guts they're having to try and put some real emotion on screen. Even if the fact that the real emotion is sort of overly wrought and overly acted by amateur actors, and it has that low budget indie feel that I also love, where everything's just a little bit odd. Everyone's overacting just a little bit much. The scenes go on just a little bit longer than they should. There's scenes in there that they think they should put in there to kind of explain some stuff, but actually at the end of the day, it just ends up confusing audiences. But they still have the wherewithal to, in the middle of the movie, literally have one of the coolest sequences I've ever seen in an indie movie ever, where two kind of... What's so funny about this movie is it's set in the 80s, but everything is so 50s. They're just sort of bobbing along in the car, and one of the cops basically gives you the entire backstory that you need, because he's sort of driving with a new partner tonight, and he's like, oh, you better worry about old so-and-so up at the crazy lady's place. Oh yeah, what happened to him? And then you get like the story, and what it does is it resets you after sort of a confusing opening. They have the knowledge, they have the skills. They're like, look, you've got to put something in the middle of the movie that just kind of sets everyone up, because the second half of the movie, he captures teens on his property behind the electrified hollow gate, and he hunts them down one by one in a series of Halloween costumes. And this is another brilliant thing, right? Because you think about sort of Michael Myers or Jason or Freddy, they have the one look, right? They have the mask, they have the whole thing. Addison Randall and Ray Di Zazzo, Joe and Rick are like, let's have this guy play multiple characters. So they contrive this whole thing. One of these teens really wants to buy like a big purpley wig, and she just has no money. She has no wig money whatsoever. She's about to leave the costume shop wigless when the costume shop owner says, well, will you take these costumes up to the old crazy lady's place and I'll give you the wig? I mean, it's a fairly decent deal, but it does make you think, was the costume store owner in on the big scheme to kidnap these kids and kill them one by one? No, he wasn't. It was just an absolute fluke, I guess, that they happened to be in the costume shop at that time, and he happened to offer them a delivery thing for the wig. And she so wanted this purple glittery wig that she was like, yeah, sure, we'll go up to the crazy mansion with the electrified hollow gate and deliver some costumes. But what ends up happening is it means that Addison Randall, for each kill, because there's like 4 teens, for each kill is going to dress up as a different character. Which on the surface, you're like, that's absolutely fantastic, because I'm getting 5 characters. I'm getting the original Mark Walters, and then I'm getting all the 4 characters he plays when he dresses up. On the flip side, it's one of those things where you suddenly think about it and you go, well, wait a minute. There are 4 teens that really he could just shoot, but he has to do it one by one, which slows the whole thing down, but also obviously gives the movie more set pieces. He dresses up in these different costumes and does different voices. But when he dresses up as a military guy, he's got sort of face paint on, green and black, like the jungle face paint, and he's got the camouflage uniform on and everything. And you go, well, if you think about it logically, he's got to find the person, then he's got to kill the person, then he's got to run back to the house, get soap and water. I mean, this stuff doesn't just come off easy. He's got to do all that. He's got to dry that all down. He's got to put his hair back, and then he's got to go into the bedroom, dress up in another costume, and then go find them again. What is more remarkable is that the kids never, even though he's going back to the house and taking an inordinate amount of time to get dressed into the next costume to go out and pick the next kid off, the kids never get any further than a few bushes. But that's the thrill of B-movie, indie, 16mm filmmaking. Like, you don't go in it to judge it harshly. You go in it to embrace exactly what it is. And what it is a movie that knows the tropes. So it's like, well, it's a horror movie. It's got to have kids in it. It's got to have a serial killer in it. It's got to have a backstory where the kid was, tortured or upset or angered or something in some way, different and elaborate kills, and they know what it needs to have. They have all the tropes, but they're still finding the best way to present it. But they also then have the knowledge and the skill and the brilliance to incorporate the cop's backstory. So you get this whole thing where the cops are driving around, they go into a diner, the older cop and the diner owner know each other, and they have this little like back and forth. And that's the other thing that's so fantastic about it. Much like what Larry Cohen would do in his horror and genre films and PM Entertainment would do in their action films, every character in this movie, every single character is a fully fledged character with backstories and personalities and everything. And that's what's fantastic about it. And yes, it is born out of the indie need to overwrite everything, because when you're first making movies, you don't know that audiences leap ahead. You don't know that audiences don't need to be told every tiny little thing, that in the dialogue itself, they will figure it all out. But you don't know that, so you overwrite everything. But then by overwriting everything, you get these glorious scenes that don't really add up to much, but that have all this fantastic character acting going on in it. The lawyer scene in this movie, there's 4 lawyers and a judge. They all have their own little thing, and they all have their own little political opinions and blah, blah. I mean, it's just... It's one of those where you take all the tropes of 80s slasher films and action films, and you take all the tropes of like cheap indie first-time filmmakers, and you put them together, and it just becomes this really charmingly naive, but in a great way, kind of Americana-fueled, overly dramatic slasher horror film. And it's with a car explosion and a little bit of nudity. It's sort of wonderful. You just kind of go, yeah, well, I mean, of course, that they can do no wrong. It's absolutely joyous. So anyway, that's my review. I think Hollowgate is absolutely fantastic. I think everyone should go see it. Everyone should go watch it, figure it out. I have been telling everyone about it. I've been posting on Facebook. I texted several friends of mine being like, you really need to see this. I'm really enthused about it. I think unfairly people would put it sort of in the realm of like Samurai Cop or The Room or one of those films destined to become kind of a cheese ball or so bad it's good classic, Night Beast or something like that. I don't like looking at movies like that, and I find it incredibly disingenuous and problematic to look at movies like that. I look at Hollowgate knowing its limitations, but also knowing that they are swinging for the fences, and by them trying to get over there, but knowing that they can only really get there, they somehow manage to get here. And it's just a really, I don't know, I saw all of the early stages and the early steps, and I just really enjoyed it. And the acting is over the top, yes, and amateurish, but at the same time, everyone is committed to what they're doing. There are so many indie movies that I see nowadays, and indie movies that I've seen sort of for the last 10, 15 years, where everyone's kind of like, well, we know we're in a friend's basement making a cheapo movie, so that's how we're going to act. You know what I mean? Everyone acts with a kind of slight side eye where they're sort of aware of what film they're in. Whereas in this one, everyone's very earnest. Everyone's really trying to act. I don't believe anyone's trying to like ruin the movie. If anything, I feel like everyone has come together and gone, let's make this movie. It reminded me so much of the Don Dola films that I absolutely love out of Baltimore, Maryland. They care about making a good movie. Yeah, I just saw so much promise in Hollowgate, and I just really enjoyed it. And it's a great idea. Like a madman captures some kids in his compound and, Dangerous Games chases them down. And I absolutely loved it. Loved it. I cannot wait to go on to the next two. Anyway, this has been my not short at all review of Hollowgate. The quick review is I fucking loved it. Go buy it. Terror-vision.com.